Hi, my name is Mackenzie H, and welcome to the 4th episode of my podcast and stuff like that. Boy, has this episode been a struggle, and I'm still just recording it. But if you follow me on Instagram, then you may have seen my story saying that the episode was going to be delayed by a couple of hours. Yeah. There a lot of things have gone wrong with this episode. This is my second re-recording of the entire thing, and on a topic I have barely rehearsed, but it sounded pretty good in the first go of it, but unfortunately you will never hear that. And that's kind of stupid, and it's sad, but it's fine. I can carry on with it. So, without wasting time, let's just get straight into it. So, yeah, today the episode of the podcast is going to be about inspirations, more specifically, my inspirations when it comes to two categories, YouTube and music, because I've had a couple of influences and inspirations in those two categories, so I figured I'd just sit down and talk about them. That's kind of the whole point of this podcast. Welcome, everyone. If this is your first time listening to this episode, then, oh boy, sad. Sad? Yeah, sure. Yeah, when it comes to YouTube, some of my earliest influences would be Dan TDM and Stampy Cat. Stampy Cat was Stampy was also a inspiration for another thing that I did. I believe I mentioned it in the first episode of my podcast, Creative and Non-Creative Writing. Oh, jeez, I can't listen to those right now. Right, yeah, sorry, I was just getting messages while trying to... I've been stopped so many times. I've been interrupted so many times recording this that I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to keep going. I don't care. Yeah, so... Yeah, Stampy Cat was also an inspiration. One of his videos was an inspiration behind a story that I wrote, but you can listen more about that in the first episode. Yeah, and I'm glad that all of those stories are now gone, all of the ones that I wrote, because they're all bad. I'm glad that they're gone. I will never have to lay eyes on them again, and I am happy. Dan TDM, I was a fan of Dan TDM starting from about... When would it have been? Oh, geez. That's a tough question. It probably would have been from about 2014, 2015. That's, it was right around when he was doing a lot of Minecraft mod showcases. I always found those quite fun and enjoyable. Well, the ones that I knew stuff about. And the mod showcases that I actually knew. But yeah, that was some of my childhood, was watching those videos. Sorry, this is all over the place. I'm just trying to, not be bad at this. And yeah, Stampy Cat was another Minecraft YouTuber that I liked at the time. I would occasionally watch him, from time to time. Whereas for Dan TDM, I just watched him like any time that I could. When I was a dumb, stupid baby. Yeah. Oh my god, go away. I don't care. Stop messaging me. Leave me alone. So yeah. So my first, I'm gonna talk about the channels now and how those videos kind of fit into it. They don't really, but those two channels, those two personalities, Dan TDM and Stampy Cat, they would have inspired me to make the kind of videos that I did on my first school channel. If you didn't know, I think I mentioned it in my 1-year anniversary video for the music channel. But I had my school, or my class, was forced to create YouTube accounts to upload school videos onto, you know, like projects and stuff and videos. And I did, and we all did. And I'm pretty sure we were all meant to subscribe to everyone in the class, but I don't think any single person did that. So it was kind of just like, make a channel, subscribe to each other. Now it's just make a channel. That's it. But yeah, at some point or another, I started uploading like personal videos onto it, you know, like, kind of like vlog type stuff. I don't know what the best word to describe it was, but it wasn't stuff that you would normally see on a school account, let's just say that. It was like videos that I would have uploaded on like a personal channel at the time. So yeah, but those two, Dan and Stampy, would have inspired me to try and pursue YouTube as a career early on in my school years. Yeah. Oh jeez. I'm sorry. This is not going fantastically. But you know, what are you gonna do? So, yeah. I think I mentioned in the 1-year music channel video about The Door is Locked, this like series of 3 videos that I did. I think I mentioned that briefly. But yeah, I did mention those briefly, probably. Sorry, I'm not really I'm not really remembering all that too well. It's bloody hot in here, even though the windows are open, and I have had a sneaky couple of sips of vodka. So yeah. I don't think the alcohol is what's affecting my thoughts, because it was like 3 sips, and it was mixed with Red Bull. But yeah, anyway, yeah, they were very early influences in my YouTube. When it came to the first school channel being deleted and me making my own channel in 2018, I don't think I had any influences to kind of create a new channel. I think I just did it because the other channel was deleted and I wanted to try again. So I did, and it went. I pretty much uploaded nothing for 2 years. And then when 2020 came around, I uploaded like a lot. I uploaded a lot of shit. Yeah, most of the stuff that I uploaded on Mackenzie H was just shit. It was just all bad. It wasn't great. Yeah. But at some point or another, I'm probably going to start unprivating a couple of videos, putting them up as public again. Yeah, but that's like 300-400 videos, somewhere between those two numbers. So I've got to go through a lot of videos to decide what I want to keep and what I want to not have public. But yeah, when it came to 2019, one of the YouTubers I watched was Call Me Kevin. If you don't know Call Me Kevin, he's an Irish YouTuber, although my first impressions of him were not Irish. He doesn't have like an Irish sounding name. And he doesn't have that kind of accent, or like the heavy kind of like stereotypical Irish accent you would think Irish people had. But yeah, I watched his videos, and I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm going to say this in complete confidence, knowing that there probably aren't a lot of Call Me Kevin viewers who listen to this podcast or watch my channels, but I kind of preferred the 2018 through to 2020 era of Call Me Kevin rather than the more recent stuff or the incredibly old stuff. If I'm going to be honest, I might get hate for that, but you know what? Sue me. There's just stuff I enjoy and stuff I don't enjoy. I'm sure there's stuff that you enjoy, and I'm sure that I hate it. I was going to say an example, but I couldn't think of something funny to add on to that, so we're going to move on. But yeah, those are just some examples of influences I had and inspirations. Yeah, so inspirations, there could be a lot of different definitions for that. It could be a person or a thing that inspires you to create a person or a thing. When I say a person, I mean like a character or something. I don't know. And it could be anything. It could range from art to other things. This is going great. Oh God, this is going perfect. I swear I'm not drunk. Not at all. The monster will combat the vodka. Yeah, but since I've pretty much run out of things to say about YouTube inspirations, I'm going to move on to my music inspirations. Call Me Kevin used to do a series of videos on a game called Comedy Night. And one of the videos, I can't remember which one it was. You know what? I'm going to do some Googling. And you know what's funny? What the fuck? Hold on, something's happened in the group chat. Someone has changed the name of the group chat to my name and add things on the end as well. You fuckers, I'm recording a podcast right now, you little shits. You fuckers. But anyway... But I found that in pretty much every episode of the podcast I do, I Google at least one thing. So I'm going to make that a rule from now on, that I have to Google at least one thing. Call Me Kevin, Comedy Night, Ring of Fire. That's how I know which one it is. Comedy Night, but I can't get off the stage. Right, that was the video I watched. And in that video, there was this recurring gag of Kevin singing Ring of Fire, and marketing it, basically, is the word I'm looking for. Marketing it as a K-pop song, but it wasn't. Johnny Cash is not a K-pop artist, and Ring of Fire is not a K-pop song. So for the first little while, for like a couple of months after I watched that video, I would listen to Ring of Fire purely out of it just being a meme. Eventually the comedy died out, and I realized that now. I was kind of milking it dry. For fuck's sake. They've changed the name in the group chat again. Give me a second while I fix this. Give me a second while I fix this. Right. There we go. I fixed the name. Alright. I shouldn't check back on them until after I finish the podcast. But, yeah, so for the first little while, Ring of Fire was just a meme. I would just play it whenever I could, and I would always find it funny, even though it probably wasn't. And in the later part of 2019, I would start listening to more and more of Johnny Cash's stuff. Hurt was one of them. I Walk the Line, Folsom Prison Blues, and a little bit of his like 1950s music. After a little while, I started to get more and more. I started to download and listen to more and more of his At Folsom Prison album. For those who don't know, At Folsom Prison was a live album that Johnny Cash recorded in 1968. He recorded live from a prison, and it was titled as Album of the Year. And I still think it's one of the best albums of all time, because it's good. It's a good album. I really like it. I have it on vinyl, which is pretty cool. one of those rare things that you don't find. But I know of vinyls that I want that are more rarer, but we'll get to that later. So as time went on throughout 2020, I started downloading more and more of Johnny Cash's music, to the point where I wanted to pick up guitar and play guitar, because it was probably because I wanted to be like Johnny Cash, which is not true. And no one could ever live up to be like Johnny Cash, because Johnny Cash is cool and I am not. I never would have accomplished that in my life. Although I did make it my 2021 photography portfolio. But that's another podcast episode. Yeah. So on the 26th of October 2020, I got my first guitar as a birthday present, which was Stag, and she's still right here. She's still here. Nylon Stag, still chilling out, hanging with the cool. For those who don't know, for my birthday, one of the things I received was a set of like 6 guitar stands in one, that like rack of guitar stands. But this one folds up into a little suitcase and you can carry it around with you, and it's fucking sick. I absolutely love it. It is so cool. It has like all of my guitars on it, even my ukulele. I found a way to make that fit, and it works. It fucking works so well. I love it. But yeah, Stag is on there. Yeah, she's pretty cool. I'll have to take her to a gig sometime, because I've taken Stag to plenty of gigs, but I've never taken her in her nylon state. I've never played her at a gig before. Actually, that's a lie. I probably have. Yeah. I'm on Teeth's gig, which was like a private thing. It was a private gig, at Monteith's. Monteith's was the venue, rather than, the place where I did the gig. It was the venue. That doesn't make sense. I'm not making sense. And I'm going to keep reiterating this, but I swear I'm not drunk. Yeah. So, once I got my first guitar, I think it took me a couple of months to learn a couple of Johnny Cash songs to the point where I could play them in public. And in April of 2021, I can't remember the date, but I played my first open mic, and I played 3 Johnny Cash songs, and it went all right. It's definitely nowhere near as good as I can do now. But it went good. It went good. I was happy with it. Yeah. So, something. Why did I say something like I was going to continue that sentence? Yeah, so eventually, after a little while, I don't remember how, I don't remember when, I don't remember why, but I got really into Wilbur Soot and his music. Yeah, by about September 2021, I'm pretty sure I'd learned most, if not all, of his songs that he wrote on guitar. I knew how to play them. Even his more obscure ones that not many people know of. And that was pretty cool. And eventually, after a little while, well, I think it was around that same time, but no, it was a couple of months earlier. So it was before September. But I also listened to Are You Alright, the Lovejoy's EP, which is the band that Wilbur Soot is in. And that was like, Lovejoy is really cool, and it's really special to me because that was like the first kind of like band of like, I'm gonna call it indie rock. It's probably not the genre that they're classified as, but I'm gonna call it indie rock. But that was like the first indie rock band that I'd heard and that I really, really liked, because up until that point, my music taste for a couple of years before Johnny Cash was classical music, game soundtracks, and that was pretty much it. And then I moved into Johnny Cash, and then Wilbur Soot, and then Lovejoy for a couple of months, and then in early to mid 2022, I started listening to more and more Los Campesinos. In 2021, I recorded a couple of Los Campesinos covers for the channel. And when I say a couple, I mean one. I only recorded one. But in 2022, I recorded another one. So, yeah. And as time went on, I started listening more and more of Los Campesinos. And it's gotten to the point where they are my favorite band. They are so cool. Their music is so awesome. And it's crazy to think that if I were listening to that band 5 years ago, I wouldn't have liked it. I probably wouldn't have liked it. But my music taste has evolved, and it's now like my favorite band. Like, a bucket list item that I have would be to see them in concert, because that would be so fucking fun. Yeah, but yeah. I haven't listened to all of their discography, but I have what I consider their three main albums from the early generation, which is Hold On Now Youngster, We Are Beautiful, We Are Doomed, and Romance Is Boring. That's what I consider the early era. Yeah. Yeah. I have a couple of tracks from like 2011 onwards. I have a couple of tracks from some of their albums. I have the entire EP of All's Well That Ends, their acoustic EP. I have all of those saved, and I really want to own some vinyls of Los Campesinos. I have plenty of I have a CD of Romance Is Boring, not the remastered version. But I do want to own some, it feels cool when you hold like music in your hand, you know? Like, not on a device, but you can actually hold your favorite music in your hand. You know, like vinyls and CDs and stuff. Vinyls are cool. Like, I'm so glad that vinyls are making a comeback. 'Cause we're in an age where it's like digital music streaming. It's kind of like not fun anymore. Like, it's cool, but it's like not fun. I guess. I don't know. What I can say for sure is that, like, vinyl is just awesome. And there's a reason why so many like records are being so many albums are being like remade just for vinyl, and they have so much like attention put into it. Yeah, and that's why you see like more and more of like the classic albums coming out now are more higher quality than they would have been back when they were recorded and released. Because let me tell you something about vinyl. So vinyls nowadays, they are really strong. Like the actual records itself, they are really strong. Like if you took one that you didn't really care about, and it was from like a couple of years ago, and you tried to bend it, there would be like force behind it. You may be able to do it, but it'd be a bit of work. However, if it was a vinyl from like the 50s or 60s, you could snap that shit easily. Like, that would require like no force at all, because back then they were just making them as cheap as they could and as fast as they could to gain a profit. So I'm so glad that more and more records are being re-released now, and more albums that are coming out on vinyl. And that's the thing that I wanted to talk about, a little bit more about vinyl. I've just gone on a whole tangent, but there are so many Los Campesinos vinyls that I want to collect. I want to collect the 3 albums that I love, which is Hold On Now Youngster, We Are Beautiful, We Are Doomed, and Romance is Boring. I also want to own at some point the acoustic EP on vinyl, and I know I'm fairly confident that they do all of those on vinyl. I know they do All's Well That Ends, but I'm pretty sure about Romance is Boring, but I'm not sure about the others. But if I can't own We Are Beautiful, We Are Doomed, and Hold On Now Youngster on vinyl, then I can just settle for CD. Yeah, but they are crazy expensive. Like, from what I saw, they are like ridiculously expensive. There is a okay, so I'm gonna use there is a sealed vinyl of Romance is Boring on Trade Me. For those who don't know, Trade Me is basically the New Zealand eBay for foreign listeners. Yeah. You know how like America has eBay, and that's like kind of like a worldwide thing. Well, we have Trade Me, and that's like a very New Zealand thing. Like it's like it's not international, so you can like buy from within New Zealand, which is cool. I think it is. You can buy within New Zealand. I think you can buy from other places using Trade Me. I don't know a lot about Trade Me. But there is a sealed copy. There is a sealed vinyl of Romance is Boring. I'm pretty sure it's the remastered version, going for about $200. Now, when I am rich, when I am a millionaire, one of the first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the 4 albums, the 3 albums and the 1 EP that I mentioned. I'm going to buy those immediately, because those are, they're just so cool, man. They're so cool. You can't. Yeah, I do know that Lovejoy actually released a couple of months ago. They had on pre-sale their first 2 EPs as a vinyl, and I wanted to buy it. I wanted to get it, but they fucking took it down. It was sold out. It was sold out, and I was so sad. But yeah, I absolutely would love to be able to hold the music from my favorite bands, because I feel like that's really cool. And all of those bands and artists have all like inspired me to pick up being a musician and play guitar, because I'm sure that there are some people who just wake up one day and say, I want to be a musician. I want to live in debt. But yeah, I feel like a lot of musicians would have been inspired by others to pick up an instrument and start playing, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I've pretty much run out of things to talk about, so I'm gonna play a couple of things. I'm gonna play 2 songs for you today. I made it a point in a previous episode that I wanted to do songs at the end on the guitar, and that is true for one of them. I'm gonna play 2 songs, but before I get on with the song that I'm gonna play, I'm actually gonna give you a little I'm going to play a little thing. So this thing that I'm about to play is an instrumental for You, Me Dancing by Los Campesinos. And it was made entirely on GarageBand on the iPad I just got. And I made it yesterday. I started it, finished it entirely within yesterday, and it's pretty cool, and I'm really happy with it. So you guys are going to get to listen to that now. So yeah, enjoy. yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. Like, that is really cool, considering the limitations of GarageBand. It's really cool. I only recorded the instrumental because I'm pretty sure that recording vocals would have just been an absolute nightmare to get working. But you know what? I'm pretty happy with the instrumentals because it's really fucking cool. Right, the song that I'm going to play is called Something Stupid. This is a combination of a couple of different versions. But it was... I can't remember who it was originally by. But it's called Something Stupid. That's all you need to know, because this really is something stupid. This whole podcast should be that title. Something Stupid. But anyway, yeah. This is called Something Stupid by... Yeah. I know I stand in line until you think you have the time to spend an evening with me. And if we go someplace to dance, I know that there's a chance you won't be leaving with me. Then afterwards we drop into a quiet little place and have a drink or two. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. I can see it in your eyes that you despise the same old lines you heard the night before. And though it's just a line to you, for me it's true, it never seemed so right before. I practice every day to find some clever lines to say to make the meaning come through. But then I think I'll wait until the evening gets late and I'm alone with you. The time is right, your perfume fills my head, the stars get red and all the nights are blue. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. Right, your perfume fills my head, the stars get red and all the nights are blue. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. Da 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 da. Despise the same old lines you heard the night before. And though it's just a line to you, for me it's true, it never seemed so right before. I practice every day to find some clever lines to say to make the meaning come through. But then I think I'll wait until the evening gets late and I'm alone with you. The time is right, your perfume fills my head, the stars get red and all the nights are blue. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And that is that. Took me a couple takes. You will never hear those previous takes of that song, but I got there, and I think it's good. All right, that is the end of the episode. Yes, I'd like to thank you very much for listening. And other than that, I will say thank you very much for listening. I'll see you all in 2 weeks' time. All right, bye-bye.